Whoa. Jordan Makey, $20. Beers on me. Go Pack. Go.
All right. We're live? Great. Okay. We'll confirm that we're live on the YouTube, and then here we go.
We know we're live. We're live.
All right. Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, Week 6 reaction in person with Ziggy. Look at this. Ziggy.
The day we've been waiting for, baby. The day we've been waiting for.
Well, the Vikings were on bye, so I'd do something to get this show exciting, right?
Amazing. First time we've ever had Ziggy in studio. I mean, Ziggy actually, last time he was at my house, we were redoing the basement, so he didn't even see the studio.
I mean, it feels so weird not looking into a monitor, knowing that he's 2
No,
feet to
I'm
the...
just right here.
Yeah, he's
What
2
up,
feet
Jack?
to the right of us. How's it going, Ziggy? You too. We don't actually hate each other, by the way. We don't actually hate each other.
Yeah, no, these guys are good friends here. These are good. Look at the way that everyone's dressed here. Everyone came into the basement tonight to record, and we had Ziggy dressed to perfection as the professor, me kind of neutral, and then Jack just rolls in with a 6-pack of beer, a couple milkshakes, and dressed like this. And we're like, all right, if that's not the dynamic of the show, I don't know what is.
Oh, and Jack, don't forget that beer is on Jordan Makey. Go Pat, go.
Jordan, we appreciate it, buddy.
Thank
you.
That is awesome to
GPG.
see. It's great having Ziggy in person. It really changes everything. You guys don't understand. It's weird when we just look at Ziggy on a camera all the time. And Jack at the start of this was like, what?
You can forget I'm real. It's very easy to do.
I'm like, oh, he actually exists. The man, the myth, the legend in the flesh.
I love this comment, guys, that we got right off the bat from Midwest Mountain Man, who goes, nothing's more Vikings than being 5-0, and all your divisional opponents look good enough to take the crown from you immediately.
No, I just owned it, right? So like I said during the preview show, like this is a great week to be on bye. And then what did we predict? I mean, I should have known. So we predicted blowout wins for the 3 NFC North teams.
Pretty good.
And then what happens, right? Packers, blowout win. We can't ever get anything right. Bears, blowout win. Caleb Williams looks like he's legit. Lions, unfortunately, you lost Aiden Hutchinson. That is really unfortunate. But not just a blowout win. But like this is twice now that the Cowboys have just been absolutely rocked. At home, right? Both those games have been at home.
They're not what? They're 0-4 at home now, Dallas, right? This year? Or 0-3? They're winless.
I think they're 0-3. They got crushed by New Orleans, crushed by Baltimore, crushed by
This
the
is
Lions
what we
today.
said that last week that Detroit has to go and do. There's no Parsons. Dallas is banged up. They're not very good. You got these high school teams with the Giants and the Steelers who you beat. Detroit's a different animal. They went in there, took advantage, put 50 points up.
Why am I wearing these? We're in person.
You don't have headphones there, Ziggy.
Get out of here.
Ziggy with his headphones.
I'm so used to the headphones. It's like I need it for the show.
I didn't even realize that.
That is good stuff. So I guess we'll start with Detroit. Yeah, that's really funny. Detroit. Ziggy gave me a look before we started because I said, hey, you know what? Maybe the question around Detroit, we left them out of the power rankings unintentionally. It was unintentional this week. Jack had his power rankings in front of him. He says Commanders at 4 or something. We go, oh, there's no spot for Detroit anymore here. Yeah. So maybe that got to Jared Goff and Dan Campbell because the 47-9, that doesn't just happen. Like someone must have said, hey, did you see the Paul Farrington Show power rankings? Is this a joke here? Go prove these guys wrong. And 47-9 is a statement win. Ziggy kind of rolled his eyes when I said, is it crazy to now say, hey, maybe Detroit's the best team in football? Like you rolled your eyes at that, but is that not a fair question?
I mean, I think you have to look at more than just one game to say best team in football. And if we're talking about best team in football looking forward, I am worried that like this Aiden Hutchinson injury could really matter. I mean, we said it. I don't think it's come out yet, but we've got a video about guys who are having career years, and Aiden Hutchinson was the engine for this defense.
We have a video that's supposed to come out for that.
Yeah, we do.
No, but Aiden Hutchinson was the engine of this defense, right? He was a huge performer, and to have him out, I mean, I still think the defense will do well. I think the secondary is going to continue to get better. Defensive line's not awful, but with that loss, I think it could materially affect the team's chances when you're in the hardest division in the NFL. I mean, remember during the preseason, we said that the NFC North was going to be better than the AFC North, and everyone laughed at us. NFC North, far and away, the best division in football. That's all I'm saying.
The Aiden Hutchinson, well, we said a bunch of times on this show, Tom Monroe, our friend Tom Monroe, good friend Tom Monroe, Lions fan texted us, hey, Detroit might not be in the top 10, but they sure look at this week. The problem we've had with the Lions defense this whole year is, and the secondary looked good today, but we said if Aiden Hutchinson does go down, and we were just thinking kind of short-term injury too, but if he does go down, how does that change this team? Like now I'm worried about the pass rush a little bit. I mean, they still got guys. I mean, they got guys all over that team, but he was the guy. And that kind of, now if I'm a Lions fan, that would make me worry a bit when you're going against the Jordan Loves. I was going to say the Sam Darnolds. I guess I have to say the Sam Darnolds. He was the MVP of the month. And the quarterbacks in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a TJ Watt. Imagine if Pittsburgh lost TJ Watt, they'd be 2-15. But we talked last week on the last show about Detroit and how their secondary it's improved, but still not super trustworthy week in and week out. But having a guy like Hutchinson and pass rush can take some pressure off that secondary. Now without him, it gets tougher on that area as well.
You know, I got to say something. So Packers 2010 put in the comments, can we see a height comparison? And looking at the video, you might think I'm shorter than Jack because I'm like a little bit lower than him.
That's what
to be clear, I am taller than Jack by quite a bit.
I walked into the basement. I'm like, wait a minute, Ziggy, you're this. I thought I was taller than Ziggy.
It is funny that we see each other, talk to each other every single day, but really the two of you guys have met one time.
This is my second time ever meeting Ziggy.
Yeah, I love these comments.
I'm like, Ziggy, what are you, like 6'5"?
Everyone's going the Ziggy aura. Felt the Ziggy aura 20 scrolls away. I mean, Ziggy, you're the man on this show.
Apparently.
We'll let our fans know, everybody, that yes, Ziggy does smell very good.
Oh, yeah.
Ziggy does
Looks
smell
good,
great.
Smells good.
He doesn't just look good, he smells good too.
I guess I brought this up.
In case you guys were wondering.
No, I mean but this is the Vikings, right? We're 5-0, we're feeling great, we're going into the bye week. And suddenly it looks like there's 3 teams. We're undefeated, and there's 3 teams I'm worried about taking division from us. Now, there's varying levels of worry. Am I really worried about the Bears? Not so much. But, like, the Bears could cost us the division in 2 games, right? They could absolutely 2-0.
We always lose in Chicago. It feels like we always lose in Chicago. But no, I'm looking at Detroit playing in these games, guys, and it's just kind of scary. Like, their offense, say what you want about the defense, and today they were great. But that Detroit offense is just terrifying. Like, I think that's the best offense in football, and I'm not sure who else is in there. I mean, you got your Bengals. You got your Bengals in there.
Well, the Bengals belong. The Vikings belong up there.
Vikings belong up there. Bengals, but I don't think I take
Ravens?
anyone over Detroit. Do you?
I think I would take the Ravens over Detroit.
You see, you just hung 32 points today on the road.
Oh no,
the Steelers.
No.
So it's Jared Goff's birthday tomorrow, so I think there was some extra juice there from the play well.
Is it Goff's birthday tomorrow?
Yeah, same as you.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I'm born on the same day as Jared Goff.
2 studs.
We will have a Paul Farrington birthday show tomorrow, to be clear.
Oh, we will.
That'll be awesome. Oh, and Jack, you show this. Ziggy got me a little Justin Jefferson like figurine signed for my birthday.
Look
How
at
nice
this.
is that from Ziggy? He brought it up all the way. I think it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I mean, we need something Vikings on this show, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, we got the helmet, but
we need something more Vikings.
It's never bad to have more Vikings. All right, from Scott Simon. Scott says he donated $5. Thank you. He says,
Double S.
As a Packers fan, love you guys' show. It's crazy that all 4 NFC North teams would be first in 5 of the other 7 divisions. It is pretty ridiculous that these teams are all every single team is 2 games or more
Bears
above 500.
4-2.
Yeah, what's
Green
the combined
Bay.
record of the divisions right now? Between the Vikings and the Lions, it's 9-1, right? You add in Green Bay, 13-3.
And the Bears
17-5. Is that it?
17-5, yeah.
17-5.
Jeez. When these teams play each other, and I actually do think that the Vikings will come down to earth a little bit more. I think the Lions are I think the Lions are just really good. Bears are probably a little bit better than this. Packers, I mean, today was like a prime example. They're going to be very good. These division matchups should all be great. Like, they should all be great games.
Oh, I can't wait for those.
Yeah,
we got Vikings-Lions in a week now,
next
right?
week. And it's crazy to think that so to kind of wrap it up on Detroit here, when Detroit goes into Minnesota next week, they'll be playing that game for either the 1 seed, so 1 seed for Detroit, or the Vikings could have a 2-game lead on the 1 seed through 7 weeks.
And if the Lions lose that game, they may be 4th in the division.
Yeah, literally, that's the kind of division year that we're having in the NFC North.
I better see
number
you,
1 seed or last.
I better see you at that game. Are you not going to that game? That's the biggest Vikings home game in their history.
It's to be 2 games up on the 1 seed through 7 weeks would just be ridiculous. It's insane. So yeah, guys.
Oh, one more thing. We got something from the angry casual fan saying this is Packers green. The lighting might be a little off. This is gray. This is not Packers green.
It's not gray at all.
Ziggy walking down here in a
green
Packers jersey we would have just canceled the line.
I thought about bringing the Packers poncho.
Oh,
Do you want to? We got a cheese head here. If you want it, do you want it?
No.
God.
You don't want to throw it on?
No.
You sure? What about you?
No, it is right there. I can see the cheese head. I can't believe that cheese head is in my basement. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Bears, guys, this morning. So I did an instant reaction by myself. Super lonely. I mean, incredibly lonely
Bears.
with Ziggy down in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Who knows? Jack, you were probably, there's no way you were awake for that game.
Yeah, I worked out 7 a.m. and then
right.
got back and watched the entire game, start to finish.
I want to ask the chat, because we got a lot of NFC North people in here right now. Is anyone actually scared of Chicago? A little bit, okay?
I'm scared. Am I scared of Chicago to like win the division?
Yeah, to win. Well, no.
Because here's the thing.
Break it down for me. Break it down.
I am scared of this Chicago team to win a game. Like any particular game. Like when we have to go to Soldier Field, I am scared. Because you've got the Bears defense and special teams that have always been able to produce. And now we're seeing Caleb Williams, right? He can have bad plays. Things can go wrong. But once he's shown that he can get in the zone and play like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, I think this game was a little bit closer than it looked, right? The Jaguars had 3 dropped end zone touchdowns. The Bears did a good job recovering fumbles. They got a little bit lucky there. But this was the game where the Bears showed up and took care of business.
Yep.
And I know what everybody is going to say. They're going to say they've beaten up on bad teams, just like everybody said about the Vikings at the start of the season, right? But it's one thing to like win against a bad team. You know, you beat the Giants by like 3 points or whatever. But to demolish bad teams, that is a good sign that you are actually a strong team in the NFL. And if the Bears can get it together, and they've shown in any given week they can, I mean, imagine you take Caleb Williams from this game and put him with that week 1 Bears defense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the last couple weeks, this man is. I think he's watched the Paul Farrington show recently.
The NFC North is
I might have
caught wind.
I might have motivated this man. The last couple weeks, he's trying to get me to eat my words. I'm not there yet, but he's looked good the last couple weeks.
I'm driving down to visit my family. My family's going back to Scotland today, and it's like 11:30 in the morning, kind of middle/nearing the end of the Bears game. And I got the game on my phone, listening to it, seeing all the highlights. And I drive by Jack getting out of the car to go to church with his family.
Yes.
And
I didn't know this started the cap of the week.
This could turn into the cap of the week.
And 4 in a row, by the way.
All of a sudden, Caleb throws his third or fourth touchdown of the day. And as Jack's walking in, this is as he's walking into church, he just goes, "Oh my God, like I might be wrong about Caleb Williams." I just started cracking up.
Well, it's funny because I saw you. I was wondering where you were going, and then I was sitting in church, and about 5 minutes after I saw you, my brother Jeff, who's sitting next to me, he looks over at me and he's like, "Jack, Caleb has 4 touchdowns." He whispers like, "Caleb has 4 touchdowns, you fool."
It is.
I'm
funny.
like, what?
It's funny, we're in a pretty small town. Jack and I just see each other like on the street. Like we don't need to be hanging out. It's just I could just be passing Jack, and it's like I'll see you later tonight for the recording. We pick up Ziggy. It's a nice vibe we got going here right now. It's a good deal.
That's what you think, but I stalk you.
Well, I did some research on this Bears game. And this Bears team.
Let me tell him real quick. I'm not gonna say anything. Ziggy told me in the car. I'm driving him up from the train station. He goes, "I have a Bears stats that's gonna blow your mind, Paul." I was like, "Well,
they made history."
Sure.
Today.
He goes, "No. You won't hear this anywhere else." So go ahead, please.
So you know what Cole Kmet had to do today, Paul?
What did he have to do?
Yeah, he had to be the emergency long snapper.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because the long snapper for the Bears got hurt, right? So long snapper for the Bears gets hurt, and he scores a touchdown. When was the last time a Bears player who long snapped scored a touchdown? Well, believe it or not, the last time this happened, Hall of Famer, right? A bona fide Hall of Famer, Bulldog Turner from the 1940s. There was a game where he got like a 17-yard rushing touchdown, and he was the long snapper.
His name was Bulldog Turner.
That was his nickname.
Bulldog Turner.
He wasn't the tight end. He was the long snapper.
Oh,
he played all.
snapper
name's not actually.
He did. He scored a touchdown against the Steelers like combo team because this is the middle of World War II. But Bulldog Turner, Hall of Famer, long snapper, scored a touchdown. Cole Kmet, as far as I can tell, is the next Bears long snapper to score a touchdown in a game.
Is that not the best long snapper name ever?
You only get the information here on the show with Ziggy.
Ziggy. That's only Ziggy. I mean, Ziggy, it's great seeing people come in here and they're all going like, "Holy crap, Ziggy in person."
Wait, was his real name Bulldog?
No, that was his nickname.
What was his real name?
His real name was what did I dig up? It was Clyde Turner.
Clyde
Turner. I mean, that's a crazy
Bulldog
transition.
sounds much cooler.
Clyde Turner sounds like like James Bond-esque, and then Bulldog Turner sounds like a long snapper for the Chicago Bears.
I mean, you guys know, I thought it was Magic Johnson the whole way until a week ago.
Yeah, that was pretty insane.
I didn't know his name was Irvin.
Jack, a lot of people here are saying great job on the cap of the week, by the way.
Thank you.
4 in a row?
Yeah, 4 in a row.
What was last year, 7?
Last year I got on a streak of 7. This year 4. I got some signs contra for next week coming up. So
few fan things we should get to. One's from a Dortz Creativo, fan from Panama City.
Wow, look at that.
So
pretty
call
cool.
Jack Mr. International because we're bringing in the audiences.
That's not America, right? Where is that? That's a different country, isn't it?
Okay. Cal H. Ziggy, if the Bengals blow it against the Giants, are they still showing up at 9 in your power rankings? I mean, it depends on how they do it. No. If they lose to the Giants, even I can.
Wait, what did they lose? Like 66-64 or something like that.
Oh, this offense is one of the best in football.
He's gonna be like, hey, any week they can hang 60.
Large metal fan. Should the Lions trade for Hassan Reddick? I will say this: Hassan Reddick, he's being sued right now for like $2 million for defrauding someone. He was fired by his agent. I would think Hassan Reddick might have lost his mind. I wouldn't want to get anywhere near that.
Yeah, that's it. Probably Yannick Ngakoue will probably find his way there. He just seems to die.
And then Drew Wisner, should the Packers trade? This is at Ziggy, so it is for me. Should the Packers trade for Malik? Should they trade Malik Willis for a kicker and a draft pick? No. Trading for kickers is a bad call. And Large Metal Fan became a member because Ziggy showed up in person. So
There you go.
you'll help pay for my train ticket up here. It wasn't cheap.
Ziggy, you see what you do? You see what you do for us? It's huge.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, you guys have a Panama City in Florida. My Panama is Central America. So there you go.
Okay, well, that's what I was saying. I knew there was a Panama in the
Can
U.S.
we just get a round of applause for tuning in from Panama City?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
Let's-
We appreciate everyone tuning in.
What
This is
time?
great.
Jack, is Panama City in the Midwest?
No, I'd say that's more West Coast, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You never
No,
know.
but
You
it's,
never know.
you know that Panama City's not really that far west, right?
So
Yes, no, Panama City, it's by what, Venezuela?
this is great.
What time is it in Panama City right now?
I have no idea.
So
man.
it's
Oh, you got a computer right here.
yeah, how do you see time on the laptop? Where's the
Someone
clock?
goes, it bothers me that
8:02.
Ziggy isn't on the right. Oh, yeah, we didn't think about that. Well, you have to understand, guys, when we had if you go back and look at our old shows, like
The Mike
maybe-
Rotundo days.
Yeah, the Mike Rotundo is producing the show for us today. Thank you, Mike. It's we used to have, or even just Andrew 2 seasons ago when Andrew was here. Jack was always on the left, Andrew was on the right, and then we had Ziggy on the TV. So it was kind of just like we were just like, okay, we'll Jack, and obviously we couldn't put Jack in the middle here because we couldn't keep him that close to Ziggy.
Oh yeah, my hands are on Ziggy.
All right,
So Panama City is an hour behind us, so it's 7:02.
all right, not bad. So back to the Bears game, 35-16, they win over the Jaguars. It's going to be impossible to get breakout clips from this show. At this point, we just embrace the live. 35-16, I said during the instant reaction, which I'm sure you guys watched my individual solo records, right? Like
I did.
I actually believe it, do not believe it. I was just saying the Bears any Bears fan would have signed up for this start to the season. It was a little wild in the beginning, and Jack, you were 100% right on Caleb the first couple weeks. He looked pretty bad. But I said watching Stroud and watching Jaden Daniels, it makes us kind of push these rookie quarterbacks to be way better than they should be through a few weeks, where Caleb's actually kind of ahead of the curve from where rookie quarterbacks normally are. And to be able to be 4-2 despite the challenges they had the beginning of the season, I think Bears fans are got to be really pumped up. Like they're ready to go for this stretch of games now where they're going to start playing division opponents.
Question for you both.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Bears' rookie quarterback passing touchdown record is and who has it?
I don't. A rookie
Yeah,
quarterback.
so just give me a guess for a number and give me a guess for a player.
Rookie quarterback passing touchdowns.
Jay Cutler 12.
Well, he wasn't.
He wasn't there when he was a
Broncos.
rookie.
He was on the Broncos.
yeah. That's right.
Did Rex Grossman play when he was a rookie? I can't remember.
Take your guess.
Wait, hold on. I'm thinking of somebody.
So whole season, rookie quarterback passing touchdown record and player.
There's somebody in my mind.
I guess Rex Grossman like 12.
Jack, what do we got?
Actually, no, there's nobody in my mind.
Does anybody in the chat know? This is a deep poll. The record is 11.
Matt McGloin, was he a rookie on the Bears?
No, so the record is 11. It's from 1942. Charlie O'Rourke.
Yeah, all right. So we're
So it's 11. Caleb Williams has 9 passing touchdowns. He's 2 away from setting the record. Passing yards. Mitch Trubisky, 2,193. Admittedly, 12 games, right? So he would have gotten maybe 27, 28.
I thought Mitch had a chance at the touchdowns.
But it's like, that is where the Bears are at, right? Caleb Williams, probably the next game he plays is going to shatter the rookie passing touchdown record 5 games in, 6 games in.
Wait, we said at the beginning of the year we predicted his stats, right? And I think all of us were like, well, Jack may have, who knows what Jack's stats were.
I think
but
I had him
weren't
in
we at like 18 touchdowns or something, Ziggy? We were in the teens, I thought. For total
Yeah,
touchdowns.
I mean, I thought it'd be a lot of yards, not a ton of touchdowns.
Jeez.
And he's had, what, 9 in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, he's been awesome the past few. I mean, today he had 4. He like got halfway to the record today.
I mean, he's playing high school
crazy.
teams.
You look at
But these teams are bad.
Foxtrot says total guess 17 touchdowns from I don't know. And what's kind of funny is how many Bears rookie quarterbacks can you name who like have played well?
No, the fact that Charlie O'Rourke is up there. I mean,
I
no
don't know.
disrespect to Charlie O'Rourke, but
I mean, I couldn't name any Bears rookie quarterbacks.
I mean, like I feel like I have a pretty good. Well, no, I mean recently there's been a lot.
I
Recently,
mean,
you've had
Justin
and
Fields,
Trubisky,
but like,
you
yeah,
had Grossman,
right.
like I was saying before. There's been rookie QBs for the Bears, but you know we're generally speaking pretty knowledgeable football guys. So it's like this franchise has had no one, and I think Caleb through these 6 weeks is showing promise to be. I don't want to say like the best Bears quarterback ever yet, but a little.
no, he's certainly shown the promise to be. The bar is so low. And here's the thing, right? The easy part of the schedule is not over, right? So they go to Washington in 2 weeks, which that's tough.
That's a fun game.
But then they go to Arizona and they host the Patriots.
Oh, is that the next 3?
Yeah. And
yeah.
then after that, I mean,
Okay, then it picks up, right?
Yeah, then you go host Green Bay, host the Vikings, at Detroit, at San Francisco, at Minnesota, host the Lions, host the Seahawks at Green Bay.
Yeah.
So the
that's
first
it.
half is way easier. But like,
But
given
that
what
they're
you're
since they're winning, it's like now if they're 6-2 or 7-3, whatever it might be, going into those games.
and they've done what they're supposed to do. Like, I get it, right? They've only beaten bad teams, but you're supposed to beat the Rams, admittedly, in like a close game, and then you're supposed to obliterate the Panthers and the Jaguars. And when you see teams, again, it's easy to say they're a bad team, so they won, who cares? But when you see people blowing out teams, that means something. That means that you're actually playing good football.
Yeah.
And I mean, to give him his flowers he deserves last couple of weeks.
Oh, you'll be the biggest Caleb Williams fan in the world in a couple weeks.
I'm giving him his flowers for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, you can say, and I'll say it's the Panthers and the Jags, but when you struggle the first 3 weeks and you're a rookie, imagine if he had come out these last couple of weeks against arguably 2 of the worst teams in the league and continued to struggle. Like it is a super green flag. He came out and beat the crap out of these teams.
I'm sorry, Bob Ohm's too low. I took a dump and the best Bears quarterback in history clogged my toilet.
Ryu Hitsuya says, "Hey, the Power 3 is complete." Yeah, because we got one more time. Clap for Ziggy in person. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool seeing Ziggy.
He's
in
even
person,
sexier in person too.
He is.
He's
He
even
lives up to all the
sexier in
hype.
person.
It's
No,
amazing.
he lives up to the hype.
And then this is a
more.
nice little transitional question from Scott Simon. Who's the best quarterback in the NFC North right now?
All right,
You know,
so
what? We'll give you a little more than you asked for. Let's just rank them.
rank them in the NFC right now, right?
Goff.
Right now, like not what I think.
Goff, Love,
Yeah, for
Darnold.
the rest. Let's call it rest of season.
Rest of the season, who would I want? Okay.
Goff, Love, Darnold, Caleb. That's easy.
For the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's
say?
descending, right? Like Goff
Goff's
at the
one.
top.
Goff's
Yeah.
one. Love, Darnold, Caleb. That's easy for me.
I
Goff's got to be one. You can't not go Goff at one.
He has been amazing the past few weeks. Yeah, it's Lover. I would put Lover Goff one. I'll say.
I mean, the thing about Goff is he's just so darn consistent.
No, he
I mean,
has
I know
been.
he's had
It's-
red zone troubles this year, but Love. It's been more up and down.
I think the highs for Love are higher than the highs for Goff, but the consistency. No, you know what? I'm sorry. If you told me like, hey, I want like Paul, go win the Super Bowl, rank your NFC North quarterbacks, I'd go Love one. Because I think he can get you to that next level more likely than Goff, probably.
I mean, I don't know.
Look,
Goff was pretty
But
much
Goff,
there.
I mean, you
He's
say,
awesome.
you say
I think-
take us to the Super Bowl. Goff's taken a team to the
Yeah, and
Super Bowl.
Goff-
He's taken him to the NFC
He's pretty much
Championship.
he was there last
no,
year.
I know,
pretty
but
much.
if you said like Paul, go win the Super Bowl, take your guy. I want.
I'm
Love
taking the
'cause I
guy who's
think
been
his
to the
ceiling-
Super
I'm
Bowl.
I
taking
think
Goff.
that the ceiling for Love is higher, so I would take Love, and then I'd go Goff, then I'd go Darnold, then Caleb.
I don't know how you take Goff at 2.
I mean, I think Jared Goff is very good.
I mean, he essentially got there last year, and his coach screwed him out of it.
yeah, his coach did screw him out of it, but the run that Jordan Love went on, he was, I mean, a one-man wrecking crew. And that's where I just think that his ceiling is higher than Jared Goff.
I think Goff's ceiling's higher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because that's a different conversation.
A guy who's been there, who was in the NFC chip last year versus second-year guy, I'm taking Goff for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Goff is like again a good quarterback. Even when he got to the Super Bowl, though, that was with McVay, with Gurley having that season. They didn't score any points.
I think Love's still a young kid. Playoffs, it gets to him. I trust Goff.
I mean, Goff,
I trust
playoff
Goff.
experience matters so much, and Goff's got that in spades.
I trust Goff.
He does. Well, what's everyone here in the chat? I mean, I wonder. What the chat.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
the chat-
actually, so most people in the chat are putting Goff at 1.
Goff's got to be 1.
Are
Loves
they? Let's
2.
see.
Darnold. There's a clear top 4 to me in this.
Goff, Love, Donald, Caleb. I think most people
Yeah,
here.
that's the ranking.
I think most people here do agree that the Love ceiling is higher, though. You think you really think?
I
that
don't think yet.
Well, do you know what a ceiling is?
Yeah, the best to meet reaches max potential, what it could be, right?
Yeah, his ceilings don't change. I mean,
No, if we're asking this question in 3 years from now, I'm taking Jordan Love to win a Super Bowl this year. Paul said, "I'm
yeah,
taking
we're
Jared
talking
Goff."
rest of the season. Okay,
Yeah,
I
Jared
understand.
Goff.
You think he's not going to get there?
Yeah,
It's
Like,
a
he
good
won't-
question. I mean, and I think all of these guys are capable of going on. Maybe Caleb's ceiling. Talking ceiling, Caleb might have the highest ceiling. Maybe not for this season, but just the general. Caleb could. But I do think that all these guys could go on a playoff run. Like, I actually do think, looking at the Bears, they feel like they could get to the playoffs, but probably lose in the wild card. I think the Vikings have, and all 3 of the other teams have longer term potential. Would you guys agree with that?
Then the Vikings.
No, I'm saying the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions feel like they could go on a run to like the divisional conference championship, whatever it might be. The
okay.
Bears, I feel like they're capped in that wild card round
for this
personally.
season.
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
you know, to answer Dragon or 2009's question, I'd put all 3. We'll see what happens with the joint power rankings, but I think from what we've seen, and this is what sucks about being in the NFC North right now, right? These are 4 that maybe like 8 best teams in football the way they're playing. Certainly 4 of the best 10. I think you have to put them up there.
Are the Bears cracking my top 10? I mean, we don't want to give anything away, and I have to think about it a little
Would
bit
you
more.
take Bears or Steelers?
Or
To win, to just straight up to win neutral field.
Neutral field, who wins the game?
Bears.
You think so?
The Bears have a slightly worse defense and a much more explosive offense. When you put it that way, I think it's
we
obvious.
beat the Bears.
I'd probably go Bears in a close one, but I wouldn't put it past TJ Watt to have a gazillion sacks and win the game by himself. I just don't believe in the Steelers offense.
Did you see us today? You kidding?
Yeah,
30+ points.
I'm just not a huge believer. Like Ryu Hatsuya says,
We should be
Goff had-
5-1.
Goff had 1 TD and two interceptions during that Super Bowl run. By the way, Just saying this.
And they got.
Yeah,
but he
at
got
this
him there.
point, I mean, I wouldn't have thought this after the first few weeks. At this point, you can defend the Bears being top 10.
100%. They're 4. Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah, and it's
I can't wait for you to leave them out for the Bengals.
yeah,
it's
as
gonna be
like as
really funny.
Vagabond says, the NFC North is the division. And honestly, I'll say this for Packers fans, like this year does not feel like the same old NFC North where you can just go to Chicago or go to Minnesota and like crush the teams you own. I think this Bears team is going to beat the Packers this year, at least once.
Nah, now you're talking
I mean,
crazy.
in
But
Chicago, I could see it.
No, it's like at Soldier Field. You know that will be the most excited Bears fans have been for a game in how long?
It's going to be the biggest.
You've got
home
a
Bears
like
game in a while.
ferocious defense, and we've seen Jordan Love struggle against that. You've got an offense that can produce huge explosive plays.
What is your belief level in each NFC North team right now?
It's like you're out of 10.
Like who do you believe in the most to least?
Let's say win
the
us-
Li-
like,
the
let's say
Lions
Believe in
win
for
us-
what? Believe into what?
to be a legitimate playoff threat, like to go to the Super Bowl. I think it's pretty clearly Lions, Packers, Vikings.
Yeah, I'd go the
Bears,
same
right? Like,
rankings
it
as-
has to be it.
same-
No, the Vikings deserve to be higher.
I think the Vikings can play with anyone on any given week and are
The
very good.
Who you remember? Do you remember the? I know it was a little bit of time ago, but do you remember the Vikings Packers game at Lambeau?
Oh yeah.
I might actually go Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears.
Like I can't say I believe in the Packers more when Minnesota went to Lambeau and won.
I mean, maybe this is just the typical Viking fandom and me being like, all right, don't believe it, you get hurt.
Lions is 1. Then Vikings and Packers is flip-flop.
Let's see.
Which
Do we
is
have
tough.
another
We
Spencer
did-
Geller? He says, best trio in sports media. Any predictions for the future of the the Calf Boys after today's crushing loss?
Is it?
I'm thinking the injuries.
Oh yeah.
Today's crushing. Who lost?
The Cowboys. Any predictions for the Cowboys? I mean, this was bad. This was really,
Yeah,
really
I mean,
bad.
there's.
I mean, do you want to just talk about that game?
Well, we talked about it a little bit. But we didn't touch on the Cowboys. Like, let's
Yeah,
let's hit
just
the
like we
Cowboys
can just
side
go
of
back to it
things.
for a second. Like,
I think it's amazing. They're in a hole. I mean, I'm concerned.
are they?
I think they stink.
It's funny. They're 500, right? They're 3-3, but it feels like after getting mauled at home twice, like
3 times.
I mean,
What's the third time?
Saints, Ravens, and
Well, the Ravens
I'm
game is not a
counting
they
were down 25 points.
yeah, I mean,
right?
fair enough. They at least showed some life in that game.
guess,
right?
yeah, they came
against
back.
the Saints and the Lions. They showed nothing, and I mean, we've seen it this year. When you're down big in the NFL, I'm not saying it's easy, but you can get back into the game. The fact that they just accepted the Lions walking in a must-win game, right, back against the wall, owned.
I mean, this is what I'll say. The Cowboys are done. Like,
Yeah, they're
I'm
finished.
serious.
No, it's
I'm serious. They're
they
3-3.
might make the playoffs maybe if the division collapses around them.
I don't. I think they're done.
I think the schedule is. Look at the schedule. At
That-
San Francisco,
they're
at
terrible.
Atlanta, they host Philly, they host Houston, they're at the Commanders. I'm not naming the hard games. These are the next 5 games. Host the Giants, host the Bengals, at Carolina, host the Bucs, at Philly, host the Commanders. They're 3-3 right now. You're telling me that you can't pick out 4 or 5 losses right there?
I'll
There's-
tell you this.
There's not many signs of life.
Come on.
I think they're getting fired before they host the Giants in like week 11. I think that Mike McCarthy's getting fired.
By Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
By Thanksgiving,
By
they're done.
Thanksgiving, I think not only are they done, I think Mike McCarthy's fired and the team is in disgrace.
And we're not. That's another thing, like to remember on this show. We're not Cowboys haters. Like there are a lot of sports media shows that just rip on the Cowboys to rip on them.
No, but it's
I
your-
picked them to win the division. I mean, I had them.
I think
as
I did
a
too.
2 seed.
I think I did too.
Like
Yeah,
I want to believe in this team, but
Yeah.
what is there
I
to
mean,
believe in?
and you look at like here are their wins. They beat the Browns in Cleveland. That was a decent win, but the Browns team are
time.
terrible.
At the time,
they
you thought.
they barely beat the Giants in New York. They barely beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And then you look at the schedule. You go to San Francisco. You go to Atlanta. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs found out that's not easy. You know, you host the Eagles, you host the Texans, you go to Washington.
It needs to change now.
Could they
And
win? They might only win one of those games.
And like we could play this, could have potentially all day, but this team really could be 1-5. It was a 4th and goal away from losing in Pittsburgh. They beat the Giants by 4 points, 5 points.
Yeah, no,
late.
these weren't like the Chicago Bears rolling the Jaguars. You think that's a nice win? This is not like beating the Giants by 5, beating the Steelers by 3 in a game
On
where
a
you needed some
fourth-
fluke.
on a 2 4th down conversion in the last drive.
who scares you outside of CD?
Nobody, but that's what I was saying. I'm like
And they're hurt.
last year when the Lions played Dallas, CD had 250 yards receiving and they barely won. Today he had 90. They lost by 40.
Yeah,
There's nobody outside of him on that team.
all these quarterbacks, guys, too. Look at the teams who are handing out big contracts, like $60 million for Dak, $55 million for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, a lot of these Tua got 52 or something like that. Half of the teams that gave out the giant contracts this year, and Love got hurt. Love almost had his season over. These contracts are just out of control. The contracts are out of control. I get that that's the market, but half these teams are now locked into these long-term deals with guys. Like, how many of them do you trust? Can you read who are the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in football?
So by APY. So
Yep.
we'll just sort of assume the contract structure is basically the same. Here's the top 10. Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Goff, Herbert, Jackson, Hurts, Murray, Watson. There's your top 11. And it's like, how many of those do you feel good about? Like Hurts, I'd be at least starting to get nervous.
You're a little
Murray,
shaky.
you're not that happy.
like
Deshaun
Kyler.
Watson, LOL. Justin Herbert, I mean, he's played all right, but what's the team done? Jared Goff, I mean, that's fine. Tua, Trevor Lawrence, like there's never been, I said this a few shows ago and a lot of people didn't like there's never been an era in the NFL where medium quarterbacks got close to lead of the market deals. Like it's always been the case that the top quarterbacks get paid a ton of money since free agency. But it hasn't always been the case that if you're just good enough to stay afloat, you get a top of the market contract, and teams are finding out. I mean, I don't feel as bad about the Dak deal. Like a lot's gone on. I understand why they did that.
Yeah, generally speaking, I think Dak's a very
But
good
like
quarterback.
the Tua deal, the Lawrence deal to some extent, like the Murray deal, we don't even have to touch the Watson deal. Like just so much has gone wrong. No, it's eventually we're gonna have to come back to earth, right?
Yeah, no, someone said it here. Joe Mama, that's funny. Joe Mama said the QB market needs a reset, and I don't know. As TV deals come in and people continue, and the floor continues to raise for what the salary cap's going to be. It's going to keep going up. Too.
No, and it's to give you an idea of just how much it's risen, right? Josh Allen signed a big deal back in 2021, right? He's number 14. And Mahomes, I mean, his deal was weird, but he's number 13 in APY. Like those guys have deals that look very good. I mean, Mahomes and Allen are making what Derek Carr and Daniel Jones are making.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's out of control.
Who do you? How many active quarterbacks do you think would be better for the Browns than Deshaun Watson?
No, that's not the right
No, no, no,
question.
no.
The question is how
I'm
many.
saying-
Including backups and
including backups, including college quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks do you think are better than
on
Deshaun?
earth right now.
Yes.
No, so just-
like, who's the worst quarterback who'll be better than Deshaun for the
in
Browns?
terms of like EPA per drop back, right? Expected points added, just
this
like
is great.
advance how good you're playing. Deshaun Watson through weeks 1 through 5. I haven't run the model for week 6 yet, but it's not yet a good game. Was 618 of 621 since 2000. The only guys worse than him, Blaine Gabbert in his worst year ever, Cordell Stewart, and Jamarcus Russell. Ryan Leaf did substantially better than Deshaun Watson. I'll say this, you can take them at their worst. Every quarterback the Browns have started since 2000 has done better than Deshaun Watson through 5 weeks.
yeah.
Give me Jack over
do you,
Watson.
Do you take Desmond Ridder? Do you take Brissett?
Do you take Carson Beck? Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
do you take Milrow?
I would take Jackson Dart. I would take Quinn Ewers.
Riley Leonard?
No.
No,
he can-
Riley Leonard
he
can't
can
throw.
run.
I think I
he
take-
can run, though.
I'd take Ritter. I'd probably take Brissett. What about like Simeon?
I'll take Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, then that's like what's the worst QB name that comes to mind who you would take over Deshaun Watson? Who's the worst QB? you
Nathan
think of?
Peterman.
Peterman.
I would take Watson.
But Nathan Peterman has never played. Like, if you look at the times he's gotten a stretch, he played better than Deshaun Watson. No, I don't think you
Peterman's
understand
pretty
how
bad.
historically. Like, this is to put in context. That's how bad. It's unbelievable.
Peterman beat Watson in college on the road.
Yeah, I would take current Brett Favre over Watson. I'd take Carson Wentz. Everyone
like
take everyone.
I would take current Big Ben over Deshaun Watson.
No, and you know the Browns have paid Deshaun Watson 35% of his guaranteed dollars. The other
Good
65% is still due.
Look at these names coming in the chat. These are
Yeah,
so
like
good.
who's the worst quarterback you can think of who you'd rather have over Deshaun? I'd probably say like a Brissett or Ritter.
This
Yeah,
is
just to know, like we're at 470 people watching right now.
What are
So
some-
if you're enjoying this, feel free to like it.
Oh, that'd be
Put in
great.
something in the chats. If you haven't encountered us before, there's always new people getting us in these lives. Our shows are usually a little bit more organized, but it's a lot like this. If you're enjoying what you're watching, throw a subscription or check out one of our other videos, right? If you like watching Vikings fans be miserable at the Packers, just sort our videos by popular. You will see like 20 of these things of Paul and I just having a meltdown.
yeah.
What are some names? You read them off. What are people saying?
We just got Danucci. We got Mark Sanchez, Rex Grossman, Tim
Mason
Boyle.
Crosby.
Crosby throwing the ball.
That's a good
Jeez.
one.
It's pretty good here when you look at it. Yeah, Ziggy, that's pretty good CTA right there. Yeah, if you're enjoying it, please send over a like and yeah, just drop it in the comment if you're having a good time.
Honestly, Tim Tebow right now, like tight end, Jacksonville Jaguars tight end Tim Tebow.
I mean, he couldn't be worse, right? You could take a flyer on him.
right now. Olson Matthew says, "I wish I could have Ziggy as a professor."
You can.
Yeah, you can. I
Yeah,
guess
you can.
Go to UVA, right?
Yeah.
Ziggy, I will say Ziggy is great. He's a phenomenal professor. I'm serious when I say it. Like Ziggy has taught me a few times. So good. He's a very talented professor, Ziggy. I haven't sat in on a class, so maybe he's diminished greatly from the time that
Well, see, I had to put down a student union this week. but-
yeah.
No, I mean, it's Trace McSorley, Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb.
No, Randall Cobb. Kendall Hinton. I'd take Kendall Hinton over Deshaun Watson.
Single McCrinkle. I mean, these names are great here.
I'd take Antoine Randall. He was a quarterback in college.
Producer
Antoine
Mike.
Randall, NFL street legend. Antoine Randall.
Yeah, I would take Antoine
I
Randall.
think producer Mike might be the cut.
No, we couldn't.
I
See,
know.
but
I'm
the-
saying like I might take Watson, then it goes producer Mike.
No,
But, like,
but this
it's
is what's
close,
funny
though.
is like
It's
Blazer
close.
JL comes in here and says like Taysom Hill, and it's like I don't even think that's controversial. Like that's how bad it's gotten.
I'd take Hill
I
for
think
sure.
Like Taysom Hill is like this is how bad it's gotten. I don't even think that's a
Poor
question.
Browns fans, man. I mean, we talk about our misery a lot, but
You
this
know
is just. I mean, we've been ripping on. This is going on now for like 3 or 4 minutes. We're naming people.
You know what the thing is about producer Mike? I think he has got a better arm than
Okay.
Watson, and Watson's more
No, I'm
accurate.
drawing the line here. Somebody put in Deacon Hill. Iowa's QB last year. That's too much. That's too much.
There's the line.
Dude, Iowa
Remember that?
football-
Remember the bet?
Oh,
we had,
my
we had,
God.
we had Iowa over
Oh,
6.5 points in the Big Ten championship.
Miserable.
Scored 0.
Miserable.
I don't know if they crossed midfield.
What do you think? Ziggy, I think we were updating you on that, or like we were giving you our reactions as it was going on, And we're just all sitting at Jack's house. All of us were in on Iowa. We're like 1 touchdown, guys. And maybe like 3 minutes into the game, we're like, oh, shoot,
it's not going to happen.
bad.
I told you not to place that bet.
No.
You could put Deacon Hill in that Iowa offense last year against a top-notch high school team. They got shut out.
That Iowa, oh my God. I remember I went to, a couple of years ago, right around the last time we saw Ziggy in person, I went to, Notre Dame was the number 5 seed. I went to the Big Ten Championship to watch Iowa play Michigan. Iowa wins, we're in the college football playoff. And me and my friends are like, all right, come on, like, let's go, Hawkeyes, let's go. And all the Iowa fans just looked at us, were like, guys, you have no idea.
Was it 45-0?
Yeah, they were like, you have no idea what you're about to watch. And we just sat up there in the stands, we're like, this can't be football. Like, this is not it.
Yeah.
It was brutal. Although they're having a good year right now, right?
Yeah, they just killed Northwestern.
Yeah,
They beat them by
are they
40 to 16 or something
Is
like that.
Iowa undefeated right now?
I can't remember.
I mean, yeah, we don't really keep up with Iowa football.
No, but
that
I
closely.
like that we're doing this because the spirit of what Jeremy 95 says. He says the NFC North teams shouldn't be hating on each other right now. We should just be laughing at every other division.
Embracing each other.
And like that's I'm not gonna like embrace the Packers or whatever, but right now, especially because the Vikings were on bye this week, I'm fine taking a break, laughing at some of the other divisions, and then we can go and just maul Detroit next week.
If
the
the Vikings maul Detroit next week, I
will be hurt. Yeah, I
would you really start like you'd be like,
yeah,
shoot,
I would
like
get
this
crushed.
is a little too real.
No, I would be.
It's just too good to be true.
I would be announcing it from the rooftops. I'd be like getting ready to hang the banner, and I would get hurt.
So would you be more? So you'd rather the Lions win next week?
It is objectively worse for my future well-being as a football fan
If the Vikings
they win.
So you'd rather the Lions win next week?
No, I would rather win. Like I'm okay with getting hurt. I mean, it's what I do.
I would never hurt you. You know that?
Oh, I know you would, but the Vikings over and over again, like that. Oh my God! If they beat Detroit next week, if they're 6-0 with a 2-game lead on the 1 seed, I mean that's just begging for misery, right?
No, you're Mr. Optimist now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm optimistic, Paul. Yeah. I would love to beat Detroit, and then we'll probably roll to 1 seed.
The Super Bowl.
Win the Super Bowl.
We've hit the NFC North quite a bit, but I do want to focus.
We didn't even hit the Packers.
You're right. We haven't gotten.
We haven't even touched on our biggest.
You're right. Let's hit the Packers. Let's hit the Packers. We got like 5. We got a lot of people in here. So how'd this game go? Packers were up 24-0 before the Cardinals put up a point. I predicted a slaughter, and everybody a 20+ point slaughter. And indeed, it was 21, so I was spot on. But everybody's like, "Oh, the Packers always lose these. Oh, we got to be careful." No, the Packers are a good football team. Arizona's not going into Green Bay and winning. I'm sorry, and. Yeah, I mean, things went sort of bad for the Cardinals, right? Like, they lost a bunch of fumbles, which sucked. The Packers only had 4 drives in the second half, though, because they strangled Arizona. And it was a
Arizona
slaughter.
kept fumbling. I said that in the reaction, too. Like, the Cardinals, it was almost comedic watching. Like, you'd look up at the Packer game, and it's like, it was just, Cardinals were fumbling the football. But, yeah, no, this was... I mean, guys, as far as our NFC North predictions went, like, you guys were gung-ho on the Packers blowing out. We said... It's kind of crazy, if you actually look at like the matchups and how the teams are playing during the season, you sometimes can get a feel for how it's going to go. And we're like, the Lions should dominate Dallas. Like they are just a tougher team and they're unstoppable on the ground. Caleb should have the best game of his career because the Jaguars' passing defense is the worst in football. And then you guys, I didn't see a blowout coming though. I will be fair. Like we titled the video that because you guys were on them. But yeah, it was. I mean, all the NFC North games.
Can we do a little salute to Xavier McKinney? He got close.
Oh,
he got no, but what?
Why?
He got close. He wasn't able to do it. He tried his best.
I'm not rooting for him.
Yeah, you are. He's huge for this.
I'll say salute to losing the record.
No, I'm not telling you to root for him. I'm telling you to give him some respect.
Oh, I'll give him respect.
This is not like that's
I'll give him respect.
He's huge for the show. He's done a lot for us.
I like Xavier McKinney. He's done a lot. Yes, he has. I will respectfully, yes.
He deserves respect for what he did. Yes. Defensive Player of the Year over Xavier McKinney. But he hustled.
So last week you made like a 8-minute argument, enough to have a breakout.
Well, he needed
clip.
a pick in every game.
We had enough to put a breakout clip on Xavier McKinney, and you're saying after one game now it's over.
He needed the record for the narrative, and I really thought like Kyler Murray dropped back 32 times. How did Kyler Murray not throw an interception?
It was amazing that all the turnovers were fumbles. It was pretty ridiculous.
I woke up today at about kickoff time, about 1, rolled out of bed, took a bath, and then came downstairs. And
it's just so much weird stuff in that.
I see a notification on my phone that
you just wake up and take a bath, like
on weekends. I wake up, take a bath.
Producer Mike, that is strange, right?
It's
I mean, on a weekend, I think that's pretty normal. A nice bath feels good in the morning.
I mean, I do like a bath, but
for the afternoon.
To roll out of bed at 12:30 and just go right to the bathtub is strange.
Well, I brush my teeth first.
Well, I guess that's a good sign.
I woke up, brushed my teeth, took a bath.
Good God.
And then
All right, continue.
I got dressed, went downstairs, sat on the couch.
So you're really giving us the day-to-day, everything.
It was about 1:20, and I see a notification on my phone saying Jaden Reed touchdown, a fantasy notification. I'm like, this guy's just the best receiver in the NFL, isn't he? I mean, week after week, this guy.
Oh, he's been crazy. It was all of them today.
No, I mean, the Packers, they've had 1,003 rushing yards through 6 games. That's the most since 1963.
Seriously?
Yeah. Through 6 games.
Wait. For the Packers, though.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say I thought
No,
ball.
but they've had a historic passing, rushing offense for them. And they made it so, this isn't a criticism, but they made it so easy for Jordan Love today. There were always guys open. He gives them a nice clean ball. They run 30 yards after the catch or whatever. It was really nice to see the Packers offense, because last week it felt like what?
It wasn't nice. No,
look, Paul. I'm saying if you're a Packers fan,
if you respect football, yeah.
It's nice to see a well functioning offense where people are doing their job. And last week it felt like Jordan Love had to do everything to sort of get it going, and that led to mistakes. Mm-hmm. And Matt LaFleur, I mean, it's the difference between the Matt LaFleur Packers and Aaron Rodgers in New York, right? Aaron Rodgers has the ego of, I need to be the guy who does everything.
Yeah,
we can't and we've seen it, right? We can't do motion. We can't set up a run game. I have to be the guy. I want to be Peyton Manning. Mm-hmm. And Jordan Love's like, look, man, if you're going to give me wide open receivers, if you're going to give me one of the better receiving cores in the NFL, if Romeo Doubs comes back, yeah, sure, man. I'll throw it to open receiver and just dominate Arizona. I'll take 4 touchdowns. Yeah,
That's
sure.
That's a scary
and
thing.
That sounds crazy, but there are so many guys in the NFL that have an ego where they don't want to make it look like the offensive coordinator is helping them.
Yep.
Jordan Love just plays football like he's supposed to, and it makes such a difference for this team.
I mean, this just felt like that spot, too. Cards off a big win.
That's what you guys said.
Cards off a big road win. Packers lost their last game at home to the Vikings. This just felt like a spot where Green Bay was
getting healthier.
Yeah.
Dobbs back.
The Cardinals, too, are the biggest boom or bust team in the whole NFL. They either show up and look awesome or show up like the worst.
I think it's a good win for
ever.
Green Bay. I think the past 2.
I think it's a great win for Green Bay.
Yeah, the past 2, Rams and Cardinals,
by
they're
21
2 teams
points
that
too.
Can hang in there with anybody, and yeah, I think that they're awesome wins, especially because Green Bay does have some tough games coming up. You had to win these ones. You got a look on your face like you're thinking of something.
What?
You see the smirk on Ziggy's face?
Ziggy, can you do me a favor? Can you put your headphones back on? You just look pretty good in those headphones.
Oh, jeez. All right, what do you have for Ziggy? You look like you were ready.
I'm just enjoying reading the comments.
Any Steelers talk?
Bob Ohm's too low he's gotten me. He made an amusing comment about how Justin Fields is terrible.
No, what did he say?
Whoa!
I'm not reading that out loud, but
wait, why can't I see the comments on your computer?
I don't know.
And I do want to say, Patrick Corzano says that producer Mike rocks. So,
hey,
can we get a round of applause for producer Mike?
Good work, Mike.
Keeping the show going. It's not easy to keep this show
Mike,
going.
you want to show your face?
I'll tell him to look at the video.
Foxtrot goes, all this Ziggy love just making me sick.
Yeah, all right, defector.
That is
all
a disgusting comment from Foxtrot.
What does he have against the Zigster?
He's had enough.
He's had enough of the Zigster.
You know what? You need some haters.
Oh, and of course, the Bengals are immediately beating the Giants off a 56-yard Joe Burrow rushing touchdown.
Here they come. Oh, what? A 56-yard Burrow? Oh, jeez.
Oh,
no, Giants. No.
Here goes
Producer Mike's a Giants fan, so sorry, it's 47 yards, 47-yard rushing touchdown.
Giants always go down early.
That 3.5 felt so light, did it not?
I just want to say, by the way, for anyone who watched the preview show, I'm gonna kind of give myself some flowers here. Tampa Bay was a lock, 3.5. Said that. The Bengals at 3.5 will be a lock. Said that. Steelers -3 lock. Said that. 49ers. I mean, it's a tradition. I tweeted out the 49ers beating the crap out of Seattle on a Thursday night is just a tradition at this point. It's like Thanksgiving. It's like Halloween. You just know that at some point San Francisco's going to go in there and bully Seattle and kind of like end any hopes that Seattle fans really have of being a competitive team.
Live at the Giants
No, I'm not live betting the Giants. You live at the Giants.
Can we talk about the Bucs game real quick?
Please.
Because I would just say the Bucs won 51-27. Mm-hmm. They didn't have any turnover advantage. It was 3-3. So they had their problems today. No, and I will just say this. I've been saying for a while that I think the Bucs don't have it because they've been relying on receivers producing after the catch.
Changing tune.
And Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, they're very good, but I wasn't sure they were able to keep it up. It's 6 weeks at this point. The Buccaneers have done it week in, week out.
Oh, I've been on the Bucs.
We're on that.
I was saying, I was putting my foot down that this Saints defense was going to be able to beat the Bucs, and the Bucs go, and they made me look like an idiot. They put up a 50 burger. At this point, I'm not all in on the Bucs as like a Super Bowl contender,
but competitor.
The Bucs are a legitimate team.
Oh,
I think I'm on the Bucs as a Super Bowl contender. I mean, I will say though, I do give some sort of credit to the Saints today. And
they played way better than I thought.
And Spencer Rattler, they were down what what was the score early?
I mean, they collapsed in the second half. They were down 17-0, and then
they came back, took the lead.
I went to record a Bears reaction, and I came back out, and it was 20-17. Like I had no idea what happened.
They came back, took the lead. I was kind of impressed with that. And then the better team, Baker, they pulled away. But I like what I saw from Spencer Rattler.
It was impressive. I was actually at the time, they kind of fell apart there at the end. But I was thinking, if Rattler had won that game,
the rattlesnake,
and pulled off a few in a row, Spencer Rattler's not
the rattlesnake.
Yeah,
but Bucs are Super Bowl contender.
What's up, Mike? You okay? No, okay. So
what's the Dodgers?
Real quick, I just want to finish up on Green Bay because I feel like we didn't end that. I did think.
Yeah, I'll always bring it back to Green Bay. Oh yeah, Ziggy's the Packers fan. Ziggy's the Packers fan, and Paul all he wants to do is talk about Green Bay.
We just didn't end the segment.
So I'm gonna record a video about Green Bay all by my lonesome. Ziggy's the Packers fan, guys. Like, come on, be serious. Hey, Paul, put on that cheese head. How about it?
Paul, put it on, please.
This is rude. This is vicious.
Jack, can you grab that cheese head?
Give me that cheese head.
No. Mike's gonna put
producer Mike. Throw it over
a wire. He's gonna something bad's gonna happen.
Give it to me.
Just toss it. Boom.
I don't want that.
Here, Paul, that's where you
put it on your head.
Since we're doing the Packers,
put it on your head.
Everything you want. Throw it on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on.
This is not how you treat people on their birthday.
Go Pack Go.
It's not your birthday yet. It's not your birthday yet.
Does the P in Go Pack Go stand for Paul?
Oh my god.
GPG. Go Paul Go.
I will say it's a nice feel.
Put it back on.
But I would never ever wear.
Oh, it has a nice feel to it.
Put it back on. I dare you.
Has a nice feel to it.
Put it back on.
No, I'm a Viking fan through and through.
It tastes good too.
I'm a Viking. Oh, cheese. Okay. You never know. You
haven't tried cheese.
I was gonna say. I was just gonna say.
It's not like it's foam or anything.
I
it's
thought
real
this
cheese.
was like the ideal version of what the Packers wanted this season. That's all I was gonna say was that 34 points. Jordan Love looked really good. I thought that this was kind of what they looked like last year when they were kicking ass.
Oh yeah,
that's why I think all Packers fans should be very, very excited. This is what you expected them to be. You haven't seen that this year.
They went up and down the field today.
That was horrible.
It was domination. They looked awesome. Go Pack Go. GPG. Go Paul Go.
That was brutal. That was vicious.
Packers Steelers Super Bowl. Who do you think wins? I think it's a low-scoring dogfight of a game that we pull out in the end.
I think the Packers beat like 55-3.
Yeah, I think you win like 16-13 in a bloodbath.
That's the other possibility is you win like 10-7.
We either win 10-7 or lose 71-8.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Okay, Paul, I apologize. Is there? Do I have your permission to move on to another game?
Oh yes.
Oh, sure, Ziggy, sure.
Paul was very upset last time, and he
okay, go ahead.
How about them Commanders?
Oh shoot!
I know they lost, but going into Baltimore, I know they're beyond moral victories, but at this point they're 4-2. They went into Baltimore and played a very competitive game. It's hard not to get. What did we say? We said this is the game where they can show whether they're a legit team or not. It's very easy, or it's relatively easy playing the Browns, going to Arizona to look like a good team. You barely beat the Giants. We were just ragging on how barely beating the Giants doesn't mean a whole lot. To go into Baltimore, and play a tight game, I'm impressed by this team. And I really think with games, their next 4 games are against the Panthers, Bears, Giants, and Steelers.
Wow, so you looped his boys
in
with those guys.
You looped the Steelers with those shitty teams? Come on.
Well, but then you look at the rest of their games, going to Philadelphia is tough. Hosting the Cowboys, not as bad as you would have thought. Titans, Saints, Falcons. I think at this point, I'll put my foot down. After this game, after the Cowboys get absolutely obliterated, I think the Commanders have to be the favorites to win the NFC East at this point. They've looked the best. They've played the best. They've shown they can be competitive against good teams. Of course, if the Eagles 2-0 them, the Eagles will win the division. But if that doesn't happen,
AJ Brown being back changes the Eagles. Like, I mean, I know that they barely escaped Cleveland today, but AJ Brown is a huge. I mean, when they threw up that pass to him to win the game, I was just like, these guys are lunatics. But AJ Brown's good enough that you throw that pass to
Can
him.
I make an insane prediction?
sure, Jack.
If the
This is unlike you.
if the Giants beat the Bengals tonight, they're the NFC's favorites in my eyes.
The Giants?
Yes.
Don't you think the Bengals are terrible?
Well, the
I mean-
Bengals are a top 10 team in the league.
I think the Bengals are better than the Cowboys and the Eagles as well.
That's actually not a crazy
I
thing to
actually
say.
think I might agree with
So I
you.
think if the Giants beat the Bengals tonight, what do they go to 3-3?
I
right?
think that the Commanders have just looked awesome. Like Jaden Daniels, every time I watch him play, I'm watching the game today. Like the guy's just good. Like he's just good. And we don't need to go crazy and have these reaction
No,
shows sort of like we've been having where it's been a little over the top. He's just very, very good at football, and the Commanders' schedule is very light. It's
He's
it's
good.
a perfect
but
recipe.
I had this team number 4 in my power rankings last week ahead of Baltimore, and like you can't even go and cover this game. Like I don't think they deserve as many flowers as we're giving them.
I'm
this week.
sorry. Covering here is just the spread was 6.5. If they lose by 6, if they get one more point,
They lost
you
by
feel
7.
better.
They didn't cover. They lost by a full touchdown today to Baltimore.
No, I'm not saying that this was
So
like
wait,
an.
what are you saying? What are you saying? I don't understand. What,
They're
You're
not
saying
wor-
you think Baltimore's better than the Commanders?
No, I'm saying Commanders aren't worthy of being in my top 5 anymore,
oh, okay.
I mean, sure.
Sure, yeah.
But it's.
or maybe even top 10.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is, of course,
I
like.
think we're also overrating them a little bit.
I mean, maybe we're overrating them and maybe we're overreacting to the division being weaker than we thought. But it's hard for me not. Again, it's hard for me. The Commanders at this point, they're 4-2, right? You look at the other teams' division. Eagles are 3-2, Cowboys are 3-3, Giants are 2-3. We'll see how it goes for them if they win or lose tonight. But like you start getting later into the season, right? You say it's like week 1, you take a lead in division, no one cares. But we're at week 6 now. You've played 6 games. If you've got a lead in the division, that means
No,
something.
and they look the best. So Jane Daniels looks easily to be the best quarterback at this moment in the NFC East too. Like Terry McLaurin's got to be one of the happiest guys on the planet. Like he finally has a quarterback who can throw him the football. I mean, he has always been underrated, but I think people are starting to see just how good he is. No, the Commanders.
We're gonna beat the Commanders.
Look, the Commanders.
Even
are
if
not
you
an
beat
easy
the
out for
Commanders,
anyone.
the Commanders will be 7-3 probably.
Oh no, I know that the Commanders are decent. But
Yeah, they're very, very good.
they're
And
a good
Baltimore
team.
too. Baltimore. I think Baltimore and Detroit are similar in the fact that they can just beat you up and they can run down your throat. Like when they take control of a game, I think
I love how Ziggy looked right at me after you said that. Like I was definitely gonna say something. You know, it was going through my mind. I tried to help myself, but I couldn't.
that's a common saying. Like,
Can I
didn't
run?
like say anything.
Can I run down your throat?
I didn't
Shut it, Jack.
All right, I need another
say
beer.
anything.
Silence.
I need another
didn't
beer.
say- yeah, we'll wrap it up here. I was just saying that Detroit and Baltimore, when they get going on the ground, they can feel impossible to
They
stop.
could pound you, right?
pound you.
Come down your throat and pound you.
I actually think that Philadelphia, when it like has moments as well where they just feel unstoppable.
They
Like,
beat the Browns by 4 at home.
no, but let me finish.
Oh no, I'm off.
You
them,
talk about
too.
not
I-
covering.
I'm,
No.
yeah, I'm completely
not
off.
huge on
them.
Philly, but I am going to say that Philadelphia has these situations sometimes late in the game where they like 6 minutes left or so, and they can just run the clock out. Like they do it fairly consistently. They did it against Green Bay. They did it against Cleveland. They did it. I mean, I remember the Vikings last year. They had that crazy drive. What is so funny? Like, what?
Nothing. I'm listening.
What are you-
I'm
what are you
listening.
talking
What are you
about,
talking
Paul?
about?
I don't understand. I don't understand. I
I'm
feel
just
like
drinking some water, looking at my
you
friend
guys-
Jack.
You guys are like looking at each other. So you just slowly sipping water. Like you start smirking. I'm like, am I missing something?
We're just listening to what you have to say.
Oh, okay. All right.
Keep going.
No, that was it.
Okay.
That was it. I just wanted to give Philly a little.
I'm
shout.
off on Philly.
Yeah, maybe that's true. They had a bad game today, right? Deshaun Watson and the Browns are coming to town. They're 9-point favorites.
Yeah,
You've got
that's a good point.
AJ Brown and Devontae Smith both healthy, and you win by 4.
That's pathetic.
You give the Browns 16 points. That's one of their highest scores of the year. Deshaun Watson has a respectable 16 for 23, 168 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That might be Deshaun Watson's best game of the season, was against the Eagles.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think Philadelphia should move down your power rankings after this week. I'm not going to fault the Commanders for not covering 6.5 when they lost by 7. I am going to fault the Eagles for not covering. You should be blowing out this Browns team if they're coming to town. I get that the defense is good, but you've got all the guys you need on offense.
Yeah, Brown was back.
The Eagles also had a nearly failed tush push today. Like it was.
You can see a difference.
It was like
Kelsey.
4th and inches, and I thought the forward progress was stopped. Like Hurts was stood up for a solid 3 seconds, and then they kept pushing. The pile whistle wasn't blown, and they got it. But
classic Philly.
And I
It's
will
classic
say,
Philly.
because before Eagles fans get too mad, I know that the reason it was so close was
There's
that
no Eagle
ridiculous
fan in
blocked field goal.
There's no Eagle fan.
That's
You,
right.
you never
Oh,
know that. You never know that.
They blocked it for a touchdown.
yeah,
I
no,
saw
that one play
Yeah.
was a huge swing. That was a 10-point swing.
Right
Yeah.
before half.
But come on. Come on.
All right, just before we wrap this up, Brady says just tuned in and heard Jack say "Go Pack, go."
GPG baby, GPG.
Spencer Geller says thank you Ziggy for giving Paul the cheesehead for making him wear it. That was tough. Drew Weisler says if the Raiders keep tanking, does Devontae become a worse value?
I assume he means can the Raiders get less for him if they're bad because they're more desperate? I mean, I think Devontae Adams will have 2 suitors. I think there'll be 2 teams that want him. But also, I was wrong about his value. Or else they're being really patient. It seems that a 2nd-round pick plus asking the team to take on his full salary is a little bit too much. But actually, the more the season goes on, the better value Devontae Adams becomes because the salary goes down every week.
Salary goes down, and 2, you're gonna whoever's trading for him is probably gonna be a team that's like, hey, if we get Devontae, we can go all in. I heard somebody say that T. Higgins. What was T. Higgins' request or the Bengals? Did they ask for a 2nd or a 3rd
Something like
for
that.
T? And whatever it was, the argument I was hearing was that since T asked for that, Devontae should be a little bit more. And I was like, I think T. Higgins is.
Well, T. Higgins needs the big contract.
Well, he needs
That's
a big
the
contract,
problem.
but anyone who's willing to trade for T, T. Higgins is 25 and he's a beast.
Yeah. Well, the question is if Devontae Adams, I think here's what's going to happen is I think the Raiders will be able to get something substantial because I think as the season goes on, Devontae Adams, you've got him for 1 year and that's it. I think as the season goes on, Devontae Adams is going to be willing to maneuver his contract a little bit, maybe agree to a 2nd year at a low price in order to get moved somewhere. Because the Raiders aren't going anywhere. We saw that clearly today. A dog water
you lose
Steelers
to the
team
Steelers.
comes
Yeah.
in and dog walks them.
Yeah, but not just lose to the Steelers. Lose by 20 to the Steelers. That's
They
really
just
bad.
you make the Steelers offense look
Yeah,
functional.
yeah. I didn't even
What a
think.
disaster.
I don't think
What a
we were
disaster.
capable of winning a game by 20 points against anybody.
So, all right, we'll wrap it up here. Ziggy told us right before the show started, you had coffee, you said, for the first time in your life.
Yesterday, yeah. I had just had a cup of coffee.
Black coffee, did you put anything in it?
I had a little black, or I had black for a little bit,
Yeah, a little black.
and then
Black coffee.
I added a little bit of cream,
That's what I did
half
too.
and half, and I was like, eh.
Do you get,
Jittery at all? Do you feel
I've
it?
had caffeine before. It was 1 cup.
did you
It's
get
not that
sugar?
bad.
Sugar or no? Just cream.
I had some of the best tea of my life this weekend. Actually,
Whereabouts?
I've got some with me. Actually, it's
And Ziggy
Oh,
walks on camera.
Ziggy's going to get his tea. He wants
it?
it on camera here.
Oh, you brought some? I'd actually like to try some of this tea.
Ziggy leaves
This
the
could be a
set to get
potential
his.
sponsor here.
This could be a real too.
No, this is not a sponsorship opportunity. This is much more obscure.
Is
Well,
it?
let's-
Is it Lipton?
We'll have to see if Ziggy finds
Ziggy's
it.
digging.
so
He's digging through his suitcase. He's got it.
Local guy in Pennsylvania.
Oh, dear God.
It's just malted barley and oats and wheat. And it's, Plotinus says in the Aeneids, I think it's 1/8 the Aeneid on beauty, that beauty is being what you are. And that tastes exactly like you'd think. It tastes like barley, oats, and wheat. And it's delicious.
I might have to try some.
Add a little lavender. I got some lavender with me. A shout out to Jeremy. He gave this to me.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Jeremy.
I mean, that's yeah.
Wherever you may be, shout out. I gotta try some.
All right, so yeah, I remember Jack
Do you
and I
even
drinking
have what you need to
coffee.
brew this?
I
I need an
water?
electric kettle. It can be set to 185, and I need a strainer.
I'm sure. Yeah,
You need 185.
we could take care of that.
We can
take care of
yeah,
that.
we'll
That'd be,
conjure it
I
up.
would like to try that. That'd be good.
I want to try it too.
Yeah, Mike's a big tea guy too. I mean, we're gonna be having a tea party down here. Can you imagine if we
The
just did
Allendale
like
Tea Party.
Well, no, it's honestly.
New Jersey
I wish
tea
I'd
party.
known you guys were into tea because I've got some really good white needle.
Foxtrot says, Zig, you gotta get your hands on some Turkish mint. Amazing.
That's
tea.
just all right, but here's the problem: is tea that is. It's too floral for me, right? I really like a rich Chinese black tea, you take a big puck and just grandpa style brew it, right? So once you get to the 9th or 10th brewing, you start getting flavor, a nice a Japanese white, right? So a white needle.
You can see that he knows he's
What?
going to a
I mean,
world
all,
that we don't
all,
know.
all I have is green tea with a scoop of
Wait.
honey. That's I'm kind of lame.
Is it a tea bag?
Yeah.
Tea bag. So like, what's in a tea bag is not tea. It's literally not tea, right? Because a tea is a leaf, right? The stuff in a tea bag is not a leaf. It's like the leftover. They have a filter. It's like it's the leftover grindings. It's the dust.
I guess
that
I've
like
never had
falls down. It's literally the lowest quality possible. If it were any smaller, any worse quality, it falls to the floor. Like they have a filter that's just enough that it won't go through a bag. Like a
This is
So I guess I've
Tea bag?
never actually had tea.
Enlightening
I've
me.
never had tea before then.
come to my place, Jack. Do you just take the train down? I can
Maybe,
show
yeah.
you how to get there, and I
wonder
will.
if we should
I
ever
will give you the
have
best tea in your life.
I'm down.
Maybe we'll have a tea time one day. I wonder if people would listen to a tea time. You know, people would just drop their questions, relationship questions.
I think some people
can-
might.
Love doctors. We do it live. We answer relationship questions,
I mean,
maybe personal questions.
I'm an
if people
expert about
want.
relationships.
We have some tea. I mean, that could be a kind of crazy. Wait, what's this guy say? Low key, just showing up. These guys still hating on Houston, dude.
We are-
We like Houston. We're on Houston more than most people.
No, somebody put in the comments like a random video like, okay, just say you hate Houston.
Yeah, Houston's what, 5-1 now?
We were well. Here's the thing.
Well, no,
just
I mean,
to clarify.
Yeah,
it for
I
people.
did say I think Houston has started a bit.
Yeah, but
I mean,
they had a
that's all we
great
said.
win
Right.
today.
That's
Yeah,
all we
no, I
said.
mean they're
Oh.
5-1, but like they haven't. To me, they haven't like looked like they could. But
they are now. Yeah, but we always
Right,
said
they
this
are
in the
now.
beginning of the year. They were a little bit off. They were off to a slower start than we expected.
that's all
But
we
last
said.
year, I mean, you go watch our videos last year. We were on these guys the start of the year. Like we're borderline.
I mean, I wasn't on
Texas,
them. I
yeah.
said the Titans were going to win the division.
Well, no,
Some
you did
idiots.
say that. But even last year, you know, when they were kind of on the rise. I mean, you liked them a little bit. I thought earlier before everyone talked about that.
I got
Giants in the red
Stroud.
zone.
I
Yes,
got
sir.
Stroud and Mixon on my fantasy team.
To answer your question, Midwest Mountain Man, I don't really like smoked tea is a little bit. I get why people like it, but it just doesn't quite do it for me. It's a little bit too strong.
Ziggy
Okay.
Tea Party.
I mean, and of course we got Benji in the Bulldog Turner fan club. It's nice to see another person who
There
knows of the
you go.
legendary
That could be a
Bulldog
t-shirt.
Turner.
Bulldog Turner.
Just a picture of. Wait, I'm sure it's public domain
Wait,
at this
what
point.
about Bulldog Ziegler?
Bulldog Ziegler.
Bulldog Ziegler or
That sounds
Bulldog
like a football player.
Bulldog Ziggy. I get a shirt that says
I mean,
Bulldog
we've
Ziggy.
lost we're down to 350 viewers.
Yeah,
People are
it's-
tuning out
People are
fast.
tuning out.
All right, so that'll do it. All right.
No, no, we'll say Vagabond said it's so weird seeing full body Ziggy. I'm used to being the disembodied head of Packer.
You
Wolf."
do just normally see it.
We love full body Ziggy too.
I mean,
do.
Ziggy is just. I mean, yeah. Look at this.
And I'll be here in person
Well-dressed.
for the show tomorrow.
Yeah, well dressed, good shape.
Yeah, we were not done with Ziggy. Yeah, he's here tomorrow as well.
Oh yeah, we got a little bit of Ziggy here. So we appreciate everyone
A little bit of Zig, a
who
little bit of
tuned
Zag.
in. I want to see Ziggy make tea on Kent. Oh, maybe.
I'm not sure you got the right
Oh.
stuff here. I don't think
We
you got the right
probably
stuff.
don't. We probably don't. I mean,
All I
when
need
you-
is a cup, but like the right kind
We
of
have
cup
a
of
cup.
I don't know, Paul. You live in New Jersey. I will say this. I texted our
don't have cups here in
friend of
New
the
Jersey?
program, Vince, this earlier today. I texted him. I said, I feel like a great evil is shadowing me. I didn't quite know what had happened. And then I realized, I opened up the maps on my phone. I had just passed into New Jersey.
No, New Jersey's great. I actually feel that way in Minnesota. Like Minnesota, when I go into Minnesota, I just feel like the air's a little fresher. The colors. are a
Oh,
little
Daniel
more
Jones,
vibrant.
red zone INT. Yeah. Oh, the Bengals defense
Sorry,
is so
Mike.
bad.
Producer Mike is not happy.
Yeah,
Is it-
okay.
Is it 14-0 or still 7-0?
Jesse says you guys and Grossi need to make some sort of bet for the next game. Dude, we would love to get in contact
No,
with
it's
with
don't
Tom.
don't harass the man. But Tom Grossi is starting to learn who we are, right? Like it's
A little.
I
we
would-
like Tom
because
Grossi a lot.
I would
some of our
think.
fans are coming in and very respectfully just saying like, if you're at a Paul Farrington show, you should work with them, and like he's starting to recognize who we are.
Oh, I would.
So
love to,
don't do anything crazy.
No, yeah, please don't
But
harass
if you
Tom
want to
Grossi.
support Tom Grossi, I think that's great. I like his content. He seems like a nice guy. And if you want to support Tom Grossi and mention our name, yeah, sure, okay.
I've heard
We wouldn't
Tom
complain about
I've
that.
heard Tom Grossi from every person
And you work in the industry.
from being in the industry, and I've heard nothing but very great things about him. He seems like just a super nice guy.
I bet I can outdrink him.
There's
I bet I
no
can
way.
outdrink him. You don't think so?
He's a Midwestern social studies teacher.
So maybe he's from like Colorado then, if he's Midwest, like around that area.
What? Oh, jeez. All right, we appreciate it.
And there's the Ziggy walk off.
All right,
There's
thank
the
you guys
Ziggy
for tuning
walk off.
into this
That's
live.
it. That was it for him.